Hello and welcome to Back Corner Comics. The topic of discussion today is going to be Taschen's release of Weird Science. This is an EC title, one of the premier EC titles, and I'm very excited for this book. I wrote a write-up of it that I published on my Substack, and yeah, so let's get into Weird Science. So it starts off with a very nice kind of textured cloth-like cover, and as you can tell, the colors here are just fantastic, and you get all the trimmings, and yeah, it's just fantastic. And I'm just so happy it's here. You're going to hear me use a lot of words like fantastic and awesome because that's my limited vocabulary can only grasp this release as such. And these end papers are pretty nice. I think they're like okay, but it does highlight certain panels that are awesome. There's that word again. But yeah, we're so fortunate that Taschen saw fit to release this. And you get Kurtzman's art style just popping at this size. They wisely chose to use a lot of his artwork here at these end papers. Here's some Feldstein. And before we get into the comics, Grant Geisman, hope I'm saying that right, is a EC historian, and so he kind of really, I think he championed these books to be released. I don't exactly know how it works out with him and Taschen, but like, he wrote this amazing introduction covering the history of EC stuff. You get some really nice covers just blown out. So yeah, you get a really nice kind of essay on Weird Science. And then we go into the book proper, and you get these really nice designed pages. Some more of those. Let's get into the comics themselves, and you can kind of see. So the paper stock here for the covers is a different paper stock, just like it was in the original releases. So it's like a glossy, thicker stock. And you're getting the ads, like the house ads here are just fantastic to look at. So you can kind of see that right there. The Haunt of Fear. Hopefully we get the Haunt of Fear sooner than later. Weird Fantasy is solicited to be the next one, released in November or September. I forget exactly which. Here we have some wonderful Kurtzman, written by Feldstein, I believe. The only one in here where you get a Kurtzman-Feldstein story, and then the rest Kurtzman writes himself. Here's some Wally Wood, and I forget the name of the other guy, but once Wally Wood stopped working with that guy, he kind of faded into obscurity. And you can see the reminiscence of Wally Wood here. You know, like you can see it in the woman right here, but it's kind of dulled. Like his work is dulled by this guy, whoever, you know, he was. And you can definitely tell who was doing the heavy lifting. And you get these short stories. So what was so cool about EC, you would get an issue and you would get probably like 2 or 3 stories, and then you would get a short story packed in as well. And obviously these are facsimile. This is a facsimile edition of the original comics, which is what really kind of makes this such a special release. That and the size, of course. So you're getting the original colors of EC Comics, which, as far as I know, this is the first time it's been reprinted in such a way. Here we have, you know, new silk finish, enlargement, ivory, gold tooth frame, you know, for portraits, snapshots. It's just cool stuff, you know. It gives you a sense of when this was released. This is a really good story, kind of showing the pandemonium of flying saucers and UFOs. This is one of my favorite covers here. This is a really good story too. More Kurtzman, more Kurtzman. I really hope we get the war books at some point. Those are my personal favorites. I love me some Two-Fisted Tales. This is a really good story. Let's see what it's called. I forget the name of it. The Sounds from Another World. You know, it's just so awesome. And this is just fantastic. Kurtzman just doing the best work. He's my favorite EC artist. But that's not saying much. I mean, he's fantastic. Let's see if we can get some like Wallywood without. Here's some Feldstein. I love this splash right here, the splash page. Feldstein drew women very nicely. Beautiful women. It's a good story. More Kurtzman. All the Kurtzman. See if we can find some Wallywood and we'll end it there. But really, I can't recommend this series enough. Oh, this is a Kurtzman story that I believe inspired Christine. Like, I'm more than positive this had to have inspired Stephen King to write Christine, because it's like almost beat by beat the same thing. At least the foundational story. And here we have Wallywood, signed Woody. I love this fantasy meets sci-fi kind of look. It's fantastic. It yells, screams, and blares Flash Gordon. But I really can't recommend this enough. You know, you can find these stories in cheaper formats, smaller formats, recolored formats. I mean, black and white, Dark Horse and Fantagraphics have been championing EC stuff for a long time. And you can get it in a variety of ways. You can get the Russ Cochran slipcases, which are amazing and beautiful on the shelf. But I do think this is the best way to read these stories, the best way to get them. It is pricey, but it's totally worth every single cent. And I hope that we can support this line and we can get more titles such as the war books and the horror books as well. This is Back Corner Comics. This is The Weird Science by Taschen, Volume 1. Pick it up. It's great. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.